Hey, who's that? It's Science Boyzzz. We're gonna learn lots of really cool, fun things. Cool, fun, hibbity-doo.
Hey, students! Your teacher wanted you to learn a little bit harder than you're already learning. And we're going to teach you guys a little bit about science. Now, I understand that it's not very exciting for most of you, and the reality is, not all of you are going to be scientists. In fact, most of you, if not all of you, are going to be professional athletes.
Or rock stars.
Or rock stars. Just famous for being really smart, or a Kardashian, or something like that. But we're going to make science a little bit more interesting, and as my teacher would always say, kids in the back of the classroom, shut up! Be quiet for 5 seconds! So buckle in, and let's learn a little bit about science. Today's lesson is going to be the 7 characteristics of life. Well, there's not just 7. In fact, we're actually doing 8 of them, but they're not all of the characters of life. Just in the main 8 that Miss Weser wants you to learn. So here we go. Now, the first characteristic of life is that things that are alive, they grow. And that's very easily, we see this in the example of where you insert a battery into a human's mouth, like so. Open up. You close it. And after just a few seconds, that battery grows, much like any other living thing, into a fistful of cash. Isn't that right? Just like that. And that's science. The second characteristic of life is reproduction.
Reproduction! Look at our beautiful offspring. The third component of all living things is homeostasis controls the living environment. So, my partner here is going to make a smoothie for Keaton to absorb and control. Ready? Protein. Garlic. Beans. Unknown sauce. Sea salt. Oregano. Salsa. South of the border. Ketchup. Honey. Last but not least, coffee grinds. And water. Remember this, kids, the most important ingredient. Hey Kiki, we got a special treat for you. Why don't you come taste?
As a scientist, you have to be really ready for any... Can I get a bowl, actually? Real quick. This over here. Thanks. As a scientist... It doesn't smell good.
It'll taste fantastic.
As a scientist, you have to be ready for anything, because when you're experimenting, you don't know. Now, obviously, my internal area, as the third characteristic states, is saying I have to be ready for anything. My heart's pounding.
Well, why don't you put it down the hatch, Kiki? Oh, that's a little crunchy, huh?
Cool. Really, homeostasis has really kicked in. Thanks, guys. Cool experiment. Man, that sure was a good shake. Now, the fourth rule of all living things, the fourth characteristic of all living things, is that it's based on a universal genetic code. And that code just happens to be Miss Weser's phone number, which is 480-7288. Write it down, kids. You're gonna need it. Now, the fifth characteristic of all living things is that they need to take in and use energy. This is called metabolism, and it's clearly represented by someone who wants to take energy from their house, which you can do at home by sticking a fork in an outlet. How you feeling, Tony?
I'm tired.
Oh, well, I've got a fork and we've got an outlet, so why don't you help yourself to some energy? How do you feel, Tony?
The sixth characteristic of life is that species slowly change over time, and this is called
macroevolution.
the seventh characteristic of life is that it responds to stimuli.
Boom!
Now, the eighth characteristic of life is that all living things have cells, even plants. Let's see if we can find one. Oh, look at here. Here's a cell. What do you know?
So that's it for today, kids. Remember that science is good, experimenting is even better, and respect Miss Weser, because she embodies all 8 characteristics of life wonderfully. And we would, I think, all hate to hear if one of you misbehaved. So have a wonderful day, and kids in the back, just remember to be quiet for like 10 seconds.
Remember that phone number.
Get off your stupid phones. Stop texting, playing games. Alright, in high school. Alright, so that's that, and just have a fabulous weekend. Bye-bye.
Hey, who's that? It's Science Boyzzz. We're gonna learn lots of really cool fun things. Cool, fun,